Down 101 facts about the USA, the good, the bad, and the bizarre, to give you the full picture. And it all starts with a multi-billion-dollar industry that might surprise you. Comment below which one you like. Number 1. The USA is the third largest country by both land and people. But here's a wild thought. If you combine the populations of the world's 30 smallest countries, from Vatican City to Tuvalu, they'd still have fewer people than the USA. Makes you wonder, what's the number 1 country by population? Let us know your guess below. Number 2. Get this, the state of Alaska has a longer coastline than the entire rest of the United States combined. That includes Florida, California, the whole gang. So if you ever feel like you've seen all of America, just remember, you've probably only seen a fraction of its edges. Subscribe to our channel to watch more informative videos. Number 3. In 1803, the Louisiana Purchase doubled the size of the U.S. for about $15 million. In today's money, that's roughly $340 million. Sounds like a lot, right? Well, Apple makes that much in revenue in about 12 hours. So, was it the greatest real estate deal in history, or what? Number 4. Despite over 330 million people, a staggering 47% of the U.S. is completely empty. No towns, no roads, just vast open land. So the next time you're stuck in traffic, just picture the millions of acres where the only sound is the wind. Would you ever venture out into the true American wilderness? Number 5. There's a line that splits the U.S. in half, and you can see it from space. It's called the McCarthy Line. It shows where 19th century settlement patterns abruptly stopped based on rainfall. To the east, wet and populated. To the west, dry and empty. Isn't it crazy how history is literally etched into the landscape? Number 6. Death Valley holds the world record for the hottest air temperature ever recorded, a blistering 134 degrees Fahrenheit, or 56.7 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than most home ovens get. But would you believe it's also home to the lowest elevation in North America? It's a land of insane extremes. Number 7. The USA is the tornado capital of the world. Tornado Alley gets hit by over 1,200 tornadoes a year. That's more than the rest of the world combined. Why do you think the Midwest is such a tornado magnet? Drop your theories below. Number 8. Lake Superior isn't just a lake, it's a freshwater ocean. It holds enough water to cover all of North and South America in 1 foot of water. Let that sink in. 1 lake, 2 continents. How is that even possible? Number 9. Meet Elsie Eiler, the mayor, librarian, bartender, and entire population of Monowai, Nebraska. She literally votes for herself in every election and writes herself a liquor license. Would you want a job where you're your own boss, neighbor, and customer? Number 10. The town of Centralia, Pennsylvania, has been on fire since 1962. An underground coal fire ignited, and it's still burning today, turning the town into a real-life ghost town. It could burn for another 250 years. Would you be brave enough to walk its smoking streets? Number 11. The face of the Statue of Liberty, one of the most iconic symbols in the world, has a beautiful secret. The sculptor, Frederick Auguste Bartholdi, used his own mother, Charlotte, as the model. So the Mother of Exiles is literally the mother of her creator. Isn't that a powerful tribute? Number 12. The current 50-star American flag was designed in 1958 by a 17-year-old high school student, Robert G. Heft, for a history project. His teacher gave him a B-, saying it lacked creativity. But he promised to change the grade if Congress accepted it. They did, and he got his A. What's the best comeback story you've ever heard? Number 13. Americans don't just like pizza, they devour it. Every single day, the U.S. consumes roughly 100 acres of pizza. That's about 350 slices per second. Are you doing your part to contribute to this cheesy, saucy national landmass? Number 14. Here's a fact that might change your perspective on wealth. If you have just $10 in your pocket and no debt, you are wealthier than 25% of all Americans. It's a shocking reminder of the thin line many people walk. Does this statistic surprise you? Number 15. In many U.S. coastal states, it is a third-degree felony to harass, touch, or sit on a sea turtle. The laws protecting these ancient, endangered creatures are incredibly strict. So remember, look, but don't touch, unless you want the world's most embarrassing criminal record. Number 16. Thomas Jefferson, a founding father and prolific inventor, was a man who liked to think in motion. He's credited with inventing the swivel chair, and he supposedly sat in one while drafting the Declaration of Independence. So, the next time you spin in your office chair, you're channeling a founding father. Number 17. Gerald Ford holds a unique title in U.S. history. He is the only person to have served as both vice president and president without being elected to either office. He was appointed VP after Spiro Agnew resigned and became president when Richard Nixon resigned. How's that for an unpredictable career path? Number 18. The Liberty Bell is a symbol of freedom, but it hasn't rung since George Washington's birthday in 1846. The famous crack you see today worsened during that ringing, silencing it forever. It now speaks through its silence. What do you think it would say if it could ring today? Number 19. The iconic Hollywood sign originally read Hollywoodland and was built in 1923 as a temporary real estate ad. It was only supposed to stand for 18 months. A century later, it's the most famous landmark in the world of entertainment. What's the most famous temporary thing in your town? Number 20. America's sweet tooth is a multi-billion-dollar force. Every single second, Americans spend about $100 on chocolate. That's a constant, unending river of cash flowing for cocoa. So be honest, how much of that $100 was you? Number 21. Here's a fact that often surprises people. The United States was explicitly not founded as a Christian nation. The 1797 Treaty of Tripoli, signed by President John Adams, states clearly the government of the United States of America is not, in any sense, founded on the Christian religion. Pretty clear, right? Does this change your understanding of American history? Number 22. Let's put that 100 acres of pizza into perspective. 1 acre is about the size of a football field. So, Americans eat a cheesy, saucy area the size of 100 football fields. Every single day. If your favorite pizza place lined them all up, how long would it take you to run across them? Number 23. Centralia, Pennsylvania, is the ghost town that won't fade away. While most residents left, a handful stubbornly stayed, despite the underground fire burning beneath them since 1962. What would it take for you to leave your hometown? A sinking feeling or a burning one? Number 24. Martin Van Buren, the 8th president, was the first to be born a U.S. citizen. All presidents before him were born British subjects. But here's the quirky part. His first language was Dutch, not English, making him the only president who didn't grow up speaking English as his primary language. How do you think that shaped his presidency? Number 25. During World War II, the U.S. and New Zealand secretly developed a tsunami bomb. The goal was to use underwater explosions to create massive, artificial tidal waves to destroy coastal cities. The project, called Project SEAL, was eventually abandoned. If it had worked, how do you think it would have changed modern warfare? Number 26. Here's a financial paradox. It costs the U.S. Mint almost 2 cents to make a single 1-cent penny. And it costs about 10 cents to make a 5-cent nickel. The government literally loses money every time it makes your loose change. Should we stop making pennies? Vote in the comments, yes or no. Number 27. Americans celebrate Independence Day on July 4th, but the Continental Congress actually voted for independence on July 2nd, 1776. John Adams was so sure the 2nd would be the historic date that he wrote his wife about the future celebrations. So why do we celebrate on the 4th? Because that's the day the final wording was approved. Number 28. In 1992, President George H.W. Bush famously vomited on the Japanese Prime Minister during a state dinner. The event was so memorable it inspired a Japanese slang word, bushiru, meaning to vomit publicly. Have you ever had a mishap so bad it should become a word? Number 29. The early drafts of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution weren't written on fancy paper. They were written on hemp paper. Yes, the Founding Fathers used paper made from the cannabis plant for their most important documents. It was durable, cheap, and widely available, a pretty grounded choice, don't you think? Number 30. The U.S. military takes stealth very, very seriously. So seriously that they developed a nearly silent version of Velcro. This quiet Velcro reduces the iconic ripping sound by over 95%, so Special Forces soldiers can open gear without giving away their position. It's a small innovation with a huge impact. Number 31. We mentioned Montana's cows, but let's get specific. There are over 2.5 million cows in Montana, compared to just over 1 million people. That's enough for every person to have 2.5 personal cows. What would you even do with that many cows? Number 32. Production. Use upbeat Western-style music. The VO should be cheerful and amazed. The U.S. planted 6 flags on the moon during the Apollo missions. But today, scientists believe only 5 are still standing. The first one, planted by Neil Armstrong, was likely blown over by the exhaust of the Eagle lander as it took off. A silent reminder of humanity's first steps. Number 33. California's state animal is the mighty grizzly bear. But here's the tragic twist. The last wild California grizzly was shot and killed in 1922. The symbol of the state's wild strength now only exists on its flag. What does it mean for a state's spirit animal to be extinct? Number 34. The 50-star flag isn't America's first design. There have been 27 official versions before it. Every time a new state joined the Union, the flag got an update. It's a living timeline of American expansion, stitched in stars and stripes. Number 35. The Mississippi-Missouri River System is the 4th longest river system on Earth, stretching over 3,700 miles. It's a freshwater highway that drains water from 32 U.S. states. That's water from over half the country flowing into one river. Number 36. The Statue of Liberty was a gift from France to celebrate the U.S. centennial and the alliance between the two nations. But Americans had to pay for the pedestal. It took a massive public fundraising campaign, led in part by newspaper publisher Joseph Pulitzer, to get it built. A symbol of freedom, funded by the people. Number 37. Kentucky is home to Mammoth Cave, the longest known cave system in the world, with over 400 miles of explored passages. And that's just what we've mapped. There could be hundreds more miles undiscovered. What secrets do you think are still hidden in the dark? Number 38. Before it was the bustling hub of Atlanta, Georgia, it was a small railroad town called Terminus. The name was later changed to Marthasville, and finally to Atlanta. Imagine telling people you're from Terminus. It sounds like the end of the world. Number 39. Being President of the United States is statistically one of the deadliest jobs in American history. 4 out of 46 presidents have been assassinated in office. That's nearly a 9% death rate on the job. A sobering reminder of the risks of leadership. Number 40. Virginia is nicknamed the Mother of Presidents for a reason. It has produced 8 U.S. presidents, more than any other state. That's including 4 of the first 5. From Washington to Woodrow Wilson, Virginia's influence on the White House is undeniable. Number 41. George Washington wasn't just a general and president, he was also a savvy farmer. At Mount Vernon, he grew hemp as a cash crop, using it to make rope and sailcloth for his fishing business. It was a practical, industrial plant, not a recreational one. Who knew the father of the country was also a hemp entrepreneur?